this be one of the best moments of your life. You're listening to the Business Mirror Podcast for a broader look on business with Senior Editor Dennis Estopace.
Good day, I'm Dennis Estopace, and welcome to Wednesdays with John Mangun, a podcast to be anchored by John Mangun, a columnist for the Business Mirror newspaper and who operates a website titled mangunonmarkets.com. Mr. Mangun will share with us one of the many pieces he wrote for his column titled Outside the Box, which is published every Tuesday and Thursday in the op-ed section of the Business Mirror. We hope you enjoy your Wednesday with John Mangun.
The global minimum corporate tax. The significant year for Marikina was in 1887, when shoemaking started to flourish. Back in the good old days, the Sapatero Shoe Company made shoes, sold the shoes, and paid the government taxes on the profit. 100 years later, the company started selling shoes to stores in Hong Kong. The company paid taxes to the Philippine government on the profits. 2 decades later, now known as Sap Shoes, has closed its Philippine factory and is now making its products in Barbados, Bulgaria, and Paraguay. The original Philippine corporation, Sapatero Shoe Company, is a dormant shell, and the company is now legally domiciled and headquartered on an island in the Caribbean. Its HQ basically consists of a desk, a computer, and several bank accounts. While following all national tax laws to the letter, Sapatero's Sap Shoes accounting firm, Sons of Anarchy, has reduced the income tax liability to a rate lower than its former bookkeeper paid in the Philippines. The nations of Barbados and Bulgaria and Paraguay are happy with the corporation investing in their countries, providing employment, and paying income taxes. But one of the reasons that Sap Shoes is there has to do with a lower tax rate than having their factories in Germany, Brazil, or the United States. Both personal and corporate tax laws around the world are like a 5-kilo bucket of worms, sort of connected, but all different. A citizen of one country working in another country can be forced to pay taxes on the same income in both countries. A corporation may be subject to the same double taxation, but only when the income is returned to the home company, the home country. A company that is incorporated in country W could be subject to the income of its operations in country Y, X, and Z. Tax laws are critical in corporate decision-making in the 21st century. There's a big difference between setting up operations in Ireland or Cyprus with income tax rates of 12.5%, or in France at 32%, or Brazil at 34%. But never fear, the G7 countries, in the interest of fairness, which now has as many definitions as gender, has a solution. It's called the Global Minimum Corporate Tax Rate. Quote, finance ministers from the world's richest countries have agreed to back a corporate tax rate of at least 15% to stop tax havens competing to attract tech giants like Amazon and Facebook, unquote. The global minimum tax would be levied only on the world's 100 largest and most profitable companies. They forgot to add, until we make it a law for every company. Alex Cobham, chief executive of the Tax Justice Network, slammed it as very unfair and said the figure should have been at least 25%. Here's the rationale. Quote, there is significant corporate tax revenue at stake in all of this. It is estimated that governments miss out between $200 and $600 billion a year in revenues, according to the Atlantic Council. Now listen, that $600 billion is money, profits that the corporations keep. They spend that money in large measure on expansion for things like factories, research and development, and on expensive liquor and fancy food. After all, it is their money. But the Tax Justice Network says that the billions in new tax taken would be used by governments to, quote, eradicate poverty. Assuming Facebook advertising, Apple, and PayPal stay and pay twice as much tax in Ireland, soon, maybe Dublin, Ireland streets will be paved with gold. The Philippines trying to attract foreign investment through tax incentives, not so much. It's really great when the rich make the rules for everybody else.
Thank you for listening to the Business Mirror podcast. For a broader look on business, follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Business Mirror. Until next time.